You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 23rd day of March, 2018. So glad you could make it. I know it's Friday, and I know you're eyeing the clock and the time card, and you just can't wait to beat feet out of that place. Hang tight. You're almost there. Thanks for joining us. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, then let me extend a special CFRN welcome to you. We are glad to have you with us. We are in our second decade of broadcast history, so by all means, do grab your day planner and pencil us in for the next decade. All right? Now, Michael has planes, trains, and automobiles today and Monday. So he's going to pop in real quick and give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room. Then I'll be back. We'll go over the numbers. We'll look at the headlines. We'll chat with John. All that and more on today's show. Michael, take it away.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me grab the charts.
So When's the last time you heard of Yahoo doing something?
Something good?
Anything. Just
Yeah.
anything.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah. Stock once traded for 400 and change a share, but anyway, Yahoo Japan, and I'll share it with the audience here in a minute, the article, but they're opening a crypto exchange.
Are they?
Yep. Yep. Okay, I can see your screen, and I know you're short on time, so let me hit mute. It's all yours.
All right, here we go. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 23rd day of March, 2018. Today, in the live training room, well, first of all, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at cfrn.net. And up at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trials, user indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. Okay, on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, we don't know you took the trial. So you got to click that link. Okay? Okay. Now, yeah, okay. This is our spreadsheet. This spreadsheet goes back to 2013, January 2nd of 2013. It's got our daily results going all the way back there. Okay, how many trades we took, if we made ticks in any market. And this one right here is pretty much just the ES. I haven't traded the yen in a long time. So these are just ES results. We're getting toward the end of the month, and right now it looks like gold and the ES are the markets that we're going to be doing the best in this month. Last month, it was by far, well, crude oil and the ES we did well on last month. Okay, the ES we had 1987, and crude we had 1600 last month. So anyway, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you'll read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. And as I said, today is the 23rd day of March. We made 3 ticks on the Russell today. We lost 4 ticks on crude, made 10 ticks on gold, and 7 ticks on the ES. That's 2 days in a row we made 7 ticks on the ES. And it's 2 days in a row we had 7 trades. But today, the result was 162.50 gross. Okay, and today it took 27 minutes and 2 trades to get to 107.50. And we took a total of 7 trade opportunities today. So on the month now, we're up 1563. So over 17 days, averaging 91 bucks a day. On the year, we're up 8,928. That's over 54 days, averaging 165 per day. Okay. Okay. Let's go through what did or didn't happen in here. Okay. In the gold. Now, I was a couple of minutes late this morning because Microsoft rebooted my computer last night, and it just took me a few minutes to get started. But so we missed a few trades that you'll see. There was a shorting opportunity right here that we missed, and once we got it going again, we got it started right here. We were plus 2 ticks on that, then plus another 2 ticks there to put us at plus 4, then plus 6 ticks there to put us at plus 10. Okay, we missed that shorting opportunity right there. Now this one is exactly what the trade setup calls for. Okay, step 1 is the MA1 crosses the BBC. Step 2, price pulls away from it. Step 3, price pulls back and touches it. Step 4, you look down here in the slingshot, make sure the cycle is red and below the green line for a short trade. The next down close is where you get. And it was right there. And it went 14 ticks. Okay, goal for the day right there. Bing. Let's see, during the break, there was a bounce off the BBC right here that would have been a break even. And then we put in a higher swing, and it bounced off the BBC again right there. Again, would have been a break even. And that was pretty much it during the break for the gold. Okay. On the euro, we didn't do anything with the euro today, but we did miss a few trades. Again, in the morning, before I was able to get started, there was a short right there. That worked out just fine. There was a long here and a long there during the session. That worked out okay. And I don't know why I didn't highlight this. I just mustn't have seen it. Okay. And during the break, the slingshot got all messed up, and there was nothing we could do there during the break. Okay, crude oil. Crude, let's see, in the morning session, I'm pretty sure there was something that I missed in that first few minutes. Yeah, right in here, in the first few minutes. So there were like 3 markets that you could have gotten your goal for the day on in the first few minutes, and sadly, Microsoft rebooted my computer on me. Didn't give me any warning. There was a long right here, a long right there, a short here that we actually got into. We took 4 ticks profit on that. A long right here that stopped us out to the tick, and then it went up and did what it should do. And so we lost 8 ticks on that. So we were -4 right there. Then it got really choppy in here, and we just stayed out. Let's see, during the break, there was a shorting opportunity right here to capture this leg down. And that was it. That was it on the crude. Now the Russell, the Russell bounces all over the place, so I'm just going to show you the trade that we actually did on the Russell. If I can find it. Here it is, right here. This was a bounce off the BBC. Again, this is exactly what the trade setup shows for the rules. Step 1 is the cross, step 2 is the pull away, step 3 the pull back, step 4 look down here, make sure the cycle is red and below the green line. So the down close right there is where we got short, and we picked up 3 ticks on that. Okay, and it wasn't until 11 o'clock that it actually started to move, and this is this week's zone for the Russell. Okay, but after 11 o'clock, it really started to move. And I'm sure there were some trade setups in there. Okay, on the ES, where is our one trade? Here it is. Okay, in the pre-market on the ES, or not the pre-market, but in the first few minutes on the ES, there was an opportunity to go long right here. Would have gotten you the goal for the day. So that's the 4th market that would have gotten you the goal for the day in those first 5 minutes. There was an opportunity to go short right here, would have been a break even. Then the slingshot had to reset. And right in here, we went long and we took 7 ticks profit. I believe that's where we got our goal for the day, right there. Right, when I say 27 minutes, yeah, that's about right. Then it got choppy and it started changing directions over and over. And there was a shorting opportunity right here where you could have taken a bit of that leg down. It looks like there was another one right here where you could have taken some profit. Then it started changing directions, but the slingshot wasn't giving you any opportunities until, nope, still no opportunities. See, we were looking for it to start trending. That's what we were looking for. Okay. And you see, when the cycle is in the middle like this, we're usually not trending up here. Okay, if it's flat down at the bottom or flat up at the top, that usually indicates that you are in a trend. So anyway, during the break, there was a shorting opportunity right in here when it was down here to capture that leg down. Then there was a long opportunity right here. That would have been a break even. And that was it. Okay, so there was some pretty good volatility and some pretty good opportunity today. And we had been anticipating this. After the FOMC stuff that came out on Wednesday, we were anticipating we'd have some good volatility. Because leading into that, we really didn't have much at all. So again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is Friday, the 23rd day of March, 2018. We made 3 ticks in the Russell. We lost 4 ticks in crude, made 10 ticks in gold, and 7 on the ES. For a total gross of 162.50. Okay. Today it took 27 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, again, we were at 107.50, and we took a total of 7 trade opportunities. Again, that's not a typo. So on the month now, we're at 1563. That's over 17 days, averaging 91 per day. On the year, we're at 8,928. That's over 54 days, averaging 165 per day. Now that is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. 1 contract, 2 hours per day. I'm gonna fix this. I don't know how to. Borders. I don't want any borders. Anyway, If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at cfrn.net. Right up at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room. 100% free trial. User indicators on our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. And you hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, we do not know that you took the trial. So make sure you click on that confirmation link. All right? All right. With that, I'm going to move this over to this side and pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And if you are talking, your mic is not on.
Here's Dwayne.
Here's Dwayne. All right. All right.
Okay. And there's the chart. Okie doke.
Yes, that is the chart.
And this red line down here, guys, that you see on this chart, you might be wondering, hey, what is that red line? I put that there a couple weeks ago when we had a pretty good sell-off. It was the lowest weekly trading zone on standby. I'm going to track it down, I think. Okay, that would have been the week, Sunday, February 19th of this year. February the 19th, this was that week, the 19th is Sunday. This was the lowest weekly trading zone for that week. And I've left it up here just to kind of highlight the whole concept about important prices in important areas are almost always tested. Now, that just doesn't mean for 24 hours because of the concierge alerts. That's a blanket statement about markets. I mean, if we go back, what did I say, Michael? February 9th? Is that what I said?
I think that's what you said.
Or was it the 19th?
February 9th was a Friday, so that was 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, that's March 9th. That's March 9th. February 9th. Well, February 9th was also a Friday, but that was 6 weeks ago.
It was Sunday, February 19th. Okay.
Okay.
So that has been, so it's been a month. We'll call it a month. A little lower.
Just go.
So price comes down and consolidates. I mean, it's moving pretty good. It just consolidates. And then it drops, then it pulls back to the tick. And then it tries to drop again, pulls back, consolidates right at that zone, and for now has sort of given up the ghost, although it's trying. So I hope you'll take this and kind of meditate over it over the weekend and just think about what this means for the really big picture. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. You hear me say it every day. You'll hear me say it a couple times a day as we go through the alerts from last night. But if this is the only thing you ever take away from this radio program, that's a lot, okay? A month has gone by, and we can see this is still obviously important. And I would almost be willing to say that if we went back and had a look at some of these other areas that looks like something's going on there, we would probably find that something, and it would be in this book of weekly trading zones. So anyway, well, Michael, recap of the recap. I know you got to go.
Today it took 27 minutes and 2 trades to get to 107.50. 22 minutes and 2 trades to get to 107.50.
Well, by Jingos, that's a fine job.
Did it again.
Hey, how about that Dropbox?
How about that Dropbox?
They went public today. They sure did.
Did it?
Uh-huh. The cloud storage company had priced its IPO at $21 a share yesterday, above its previously expected range. And then today, when they rang the bell, it opened at $29 a share.
$29
It got
a share.
up over
Nice.
30, giving the company an $11.9 billion valuation.
Wow.
IPO is yet another gauge of the ability of unicorns, tech startups valued at $1 billion or more, to thrive in the public market. The biggest and most recent example of such an IPO was Snap, which went public in March of last year. The stock popped on its first trading day, but has since fallen about 3.4% amid concerns about competition and its high valuation. Uber, the most valuable private tech company, is expected to go public next year. Interesting. Now, I've used Dropbox over the years, but I don't believe I've ever paid for it. Do we pay for any? I know we have Dropbox, but we don't pay for it, do we?
You know what? I don't even know. We have so many things that are just
I know.
automated. I don't even know.
The regulatory filing submitted showed the company had more than 11 million paying users. Okay. It earned just over $1 billion in revenue last year, up 32% from the prior year. Its net loss, however, was nearly halved to $111.7 million. It stopped bleeding cash in 2015 and has maintained a positive free cash flow for the last couple of years. Like Snap, Dropbox warned potential investors that it may never be profitable. That's like all you got to say now is, yeah, I don't think our company's going to make it, and the stock's not worth what it's trading at. That's how you go to the moon these days. It's the Elon Musk. Dropbox also warned that data and security breaches could hurt its ability to keep customers or attract new ones. The company was hacked in 2012, and over 68 million users' emails and passwords were leaked on the internet 4 years later. Dropbox has a dual-class stock structure that gives outsized power to some insiders. For example, Andrew Houston, the co-founder and CEO, will have 24% of the company, while the venture capital firm Sequoia Capital will own a 25% stake. Wow. So Sequoia and the CEO own 51%. No, 49% of the company. 25 and 24. Interesting. Well, he'll probably have a nice weekend. He'll probably go out for a drink with some friends, some appetizers.
Yeah.
How many billion did you make this week? I don't know. Okay. So, okay, Dropbox. I know you got to go, so whenever you got to go, just vanish.
Okay, John's out here.
Oh, good.
So
let's tell him it was Mike. Yeah, I told him it would be just me and him today. I was going to bring up. Here's a sign-up page for Dropbox.
Right. I just
hey, John, welcome to the show.
I do have to go.
All right, Mike. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, we'll talk. Bye.
So, have you been watching Dropbox today, John?
I have. As a matter of fact, we put a buyout on it a while ago, and then we put a sell on it, so we're actually short right now, and probably would cover right here, just to.
What is the symbol on that thing?
DBX.
Now, do you use Dropbox yourself?
No, I do have a thing, but I hardly ever use it.
Okay. So I was just asking Michael. I know that he and I have used it over the years, but I don't recall ever paying for it.
Uh-huh.
But we just...
No, you don't have to. You can have 5 gigs of storage or 5 megs of storage, and you don't have to pay. So if you go over 5 megs, you have to pay.
DBX.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have it listed yet.
It should be in the system.
Well, on this system here. Yeah, I'm sure it's on, if we just go and search DBX. That ought to do the trick. Dropbox. There you go.
Well, listen, it's been a hell of a week. We've had one of our best weeks in a long, long time. So I really am just ecstatic over the way things are going. Without bragging too much, we nailed the lows last night. We were short all the way down and turned at the bottom, and I actually said last night we might go positive before the close, which was a pretty bold statement at the time. Since we were down 200, we're down about a total of 900 on the Dow from the high of the day, or no, from probably 1,000 points on the Dow from the high of the day. And then we came in and we had this extension rally up this morning. We were short the VIX, coming into the day. We went long down near the lows under 46. Just sold it a short while ago, 47.90 or 47.80. It's down to 47.10.20. Look, we're not out of the woods yet by any means, but you can't rule out the possibility of this extending into a positive again and possibly having a big reversal. On the contrary, if we go back up on the VIXs and the market tanks, I think it doesn't bode very well for London for Monday at all. Still could be very catastrophic in the next couple of days. But if they nip this thing in the bud today, and there's a pretty good chance they will, there's a few things going on today that are very interesting. If you look at Boeing aircraft, BA, obviously Boeing has been under pressure for the last few days because of fear of tariffs and all that. And I think one of the reasons why the market rallied last night is because, in response to the 60 billion against China, they only came back with 3 billion. And I thought the market probably thought that was a win. And there was no mention of Boeing or anything like that. So Boeing has made a double bottom at 320, which is very, very impressive. Now, this is particularly significant because Boeing has several times on the way up made a double bottom, back at 170, and if you go way back, it's had sort of 120. It double bottomed about 125, went all the way up to 200 it just really got to about 185. Then I had this bottom at 170. And we're at another bottom right now, another double bottom. And a double bottom in a bull market is a very, very powerful thing. So if we are going to go into a very strong rebound here, ideally Boeing would probably go back to being the leader again, one of the leaders. Also, NVIDIA, we've actually called the lows twice on these stocks this morning. We got the first rally on NVIDIA up to from about 234 to 239. Sold it somewhere near the highs, came back. Took a bit of a punt at 233, and we're at 236 already. 235 rather, 235 and a half. So the stocks, the semiconductors are coming back. The LABU actually has gone positive today already. That's a good sign. And the breadth is not bad at all today actually, which is also a good sign, at least unless it goes lower. Now the other great thing that's going on today is I believe look, I had to go through some pain yesterday. I don't get it right all the time. I was long the Nugget and the Newmont yesterday, and the gold is going up and the stocks are going down, and it was very frustrating. So I decided to stick with them overnight, and I'm glad I did, because look at them today; they're just absolutely going crazy. And I actually
Which one?
Nugget, NUGT, and Newmont, and all the golds. And I mean, it was a crazy day yesterday because the silver was down, the silver stocks and the golds were all down, and they closed around the low of the day. So it was a pretty ballsy thing to hold them overnight. Normally you wouldn't do that, but here's the key. We have left an island bottom. In other words, yesterday's trading is way south. It's a little island that's in reverse. And I'm just telling you, listen, this is a once in a blue moon occurrence. And when you get a turnaround like that and the market goes, ballistic to the upside. It is so bullish you can't even think about it. And it is the beginning. And look, just like Mike said a couple of days ago, good call by him. He said if the nugget goes over 13, let's go for liftoff. And here we are at 15 already. The JNUG. This is. I'm telling you, I said what I've been saying on this show. When this market turns, you will not be able to catch it. And here, they really stuck it to all the potential bulls yesterday, driving these stocks down so that probably nobody was long. So when the market goes in, it comes up today and everybody's clamoring to get back in. And the golds are up very substantially as a result. So I think this is the beginning of an epic capital EPIC, epic upwave in the metals. And we already know about Santa Fe Gold. You got to be brainless. Look, it's a risk in everything, but this is an issue that could go very, very dramatically higher. There's a lot of things cooking. There's tremendous news come out recently, which has not really been factored into the stock, and there's more news coming out today or tomorrow or over the weekend that could be a real surprise to everybody. It's already disclosed. I think we mentioned it before. There's some write-downs that would be the equivalent of 4 or 5 million in income for the stock. That doesn't happen every day, and obviously that when you see it staring it in the face and the reality of it, it does make a difference, and it's going to show up on the balance sheet. And I'm not selling anything you shouldn't know. It's fully disclosed in all the filings. But if you look hard enough, you'll find them. But most people don't do that. So there's that, and then there's these tests that they've just done on the pre-production. If they come in anything like what the management is expecting, or what they've already published, that's a real-time production measure of being able to produce gold and silver out of ore, and if these measures come in, anywhere north of an ounce per ton of gold, or 50 ounces a ton of silver or something like that, you're talking about ultra high grades that are very, very unusual, and they're probably going to be just based on the past assays that they've done. I mean, they had one assay that had 400 ounces of silver per ton, 435 ounces of silver per ton, and about 2.7 ounces per ton of gold. Now that was just a kind of a random sample out of the mine, but it gives you some idea of what might be coming. So and look at this monthly chart.
Look at the base on this monthly chart.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah. It's just looking, this I think we're going to go up to 1,500 on the gold pretty quick, and I don't think it's going to stop there. It's going to we could be at 400 within a few days the way this thing is going. And as I said last night, when the gold starts going up, well, first of all, gold. The gold is going up because of the rate hikes, and in each rate hike cycle, the last one we can relate to, 425 was a low of gold in the first quarter of 2005. They raised rates in 2004, and just like what happened to this cycle, they pushed the gold down, and everybody was freaking out, throwing the towel in at 425. Then they raised rates a second time, and gold suddenly took off. And next thing you know, it was about 575. It went through 500 like a knife through butter, 20-year resistance. And before you knew it, was 600. And then we went all the way up towards 1,000 in the next couple of years. And if you remember, on about August the 16th, actually 2007, right on this show, that we called the highs on the Dow at 14,000.41 on July 19th. We had a 10% correction, kind of like what's going on right now, and we turned on August the 16th, and the very same day gold turned, and I think it was under 600 at that date. And we went, I think it was about 570 or something, and we went long that afternoon in gold and stocks, right? And they were still raising rates, I think, at that time, and we went right into November. You know, we had a huge 13% rally or so into November on the stocks. Sorry, October, into the October high, and gold went to 1,000. Pretty fast. Went to 1,000 from the 570 or so. So 1,000 plus. So we're right in that groove right now. We're really in the sort of 550, 600 zone. And what happened? Gold almost doubled. So here we are, 1,300. If gold doubles, we're going to go to 2,600. So, you know, certainly getting through 2,000 into the 2,400, 2,400 zone is very, very real and doable in my view. And, you know, you've had a roaring bull market of multi-100% gains while gold has been going down over, you know, not the last couple of years, but before. And remember, this is a carbon copy, which we said on this show a few days ago, of the February, this 2016 February bottom, the secondary bottom in stocks. Gold took off on its own, and we had the biggest move up in 30 years. I mean, it absolutely just exploded higher. And if you didn't get on board, you missed it. So this is starting to look like the same scenario all over again. And the VIXs are going back up again now, so it's not looking very good. We unfortunately, the way this market's breaking down now, it's this rallying in the morning and selling in the afternoon is really bad news. So, you know, it might dampen the gold a little bit, because just like yesterday, you know, why did the gold go down? It does suffer. I don't know why, but the gold stocks seem to suffer from stocks being sold when we're in one of these downdrafts. So that is a bit of a risk here, short term on the nugget. But, you know, the gold going higher, what I mentioned last night is the gold going higher, in my view, means something's going on. You know, why did we rally overnight? Whether the Fed came in and, you know, helped the market or whatever they did, somebody, you know, the market rallied overnight and off a very, very, you know, 900,000 point decline. So, you know, now we're going down again. And by the way, the VIX looks unbelievably bullish. But that's a great chart there, Dwayne. Look at that, jeepers. I think all the resistance we've been having a problem with look like it's going to get taken out on the upside there with that gold chart.
This is a daily chart right here.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a very dynamic chart.
1370, that area is critical.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic chart for sure. It's definitely pretty interesting. And you know, I tell you, look at the liftoff. I mean, actually, when you get a liftoff like this, you know, the $150 move up from December, and look how much we haven't given much ground back to the market. I mean, we've hardly given up any. Can you keep that back for a second?
Oh yeah, sure, you bet.
You know, we haven't given up much ground, and I think the market's going to go vertical now. I mean, at the next, we're probably going to go into a third wave, and we're probably going to go vertical. So very, very dramatic up moves lie ahead. And obviously, if we go down a couple of thousand points over the next few days in the Dow, that's probably going to create some panic buying in the metals. You know. So now the grains, actually put a buyout on the beans this morning, and the soy meal and all the grains complex in general. And I think we're going. The grains have been very difficult here the last few days, but I think this is go for liftoff right now. I think the grains are on for real. The coffee did go down, finally broke 118, so we're making new lows in the coffee. Cocoa just made a new high this morning. We went long cocoa on this last pullback. We sold it early this morning, bought it back, and right now it's making new highs. Cocoa is looking absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, it looks like it's going to 3,000, maybe even more. There's something going on with cocoa. So it definitely is a very, very strong bull market. And I would probably buy. Look, the grains are still not 100% kind of guaranteed up move here by any means, but because if we tank this afternoon, the grains might get knocked down again. That happened a few times already. So in spite of the strength we're seeing right now, you could still see a bit of a knockdown in the grains, but I think it's going to be short-lived because they sort of keep buying dips now. So that's the other thing. And we did sell the energy this morning at a new high. They're coming back a bit because of the market, but I think you got to be buying the next dip in the energy as well. It's really looking pretty good. Right now, I mean, look, you can the market turn? Yes, it can. It could have a late rally today. I wouldn't rule it out. If it does, it would be fantastic. Actually, we're starting to pick up a little bit now. The VIX, the VIX has got a problem up there around the 48 level. So it's coming off pretty fast now, a little bit. But so I would say if we break the lows we just saw a minute ago, later on, it's not going to be good on the markets, that is. So that's, the other thing is the dollar is tanking finally, which is great. The dollar's down to 89, just about to break 89. So this is considering the closing on the low of the week, this is very, very positive for gold and silver as well. And it certainly looks like the dollars might go down and test the recent lows around below 88.
Do you think is Trump going to veto this thing today?
I hope so, because I think they screwed him over the wall. I mean, that could be another thing that could tank the market. So I think they, I mean, I don't understand why somebody doesn't come out and say, listen, or he doesn't come out and say, I got your 500 billion worth of defense business from Saudi Arabia, Japan, Korea, and a few other, and Vietnam and places, and you can't give me 25 billion for a wall. I mean, give me a break. It's such an insult,
Well, that thing you said the other day really kind of changed my whole thinking about the wall. In that,
well, that is
flying cars. I mean, that's really.
Yeah, that is the one kind of, but I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah, it's like it's a moot point. I mean, and I don't know. I guess they can sit there and shoot them out of the air. I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, but I mean, look, there's a real problem because look at the people coming out. It's not Mexico anymore. Mexico's got a reverse migration practically, but it's the Latin, it's Central America, and
right.
and they're the problem. And the kids, these kids are coming across unaccompanied and things. It's just unreal,
From Central America.
Yeah.
And their ultimate destination is the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, when the kids get over, they get automatic kind of amnesty, practically. So it's
what happens if they get caught in Mexico?
Well, I think
let me ask
Mexico
it this way: if someone was coming up out of Central America,
they do get sent back, because they do catch these. Sometimes they catch busloads or truckloads of people and that, and they do get sent back for sure.
Are they treated the same way an American would be? Who? I mean,
yeah, they are. I have to tell you, they're treated very humanely, and they also a lot of shelters and people, religious that take care of people.
Sure.
And look, you can't, go on about American treatment of immigrants. You have to sort of set an example yourself. And I think and look, there was a while ago you couldn't even immigrate to Mexico, but that's changed, and they are taking people in right now, and they're sort of like preaching to the choir, saying, look, we're doing our part as well, kind of thing. And look, they've taken in a lot of Cubans. A lot of Cubans got kind of stranded, trying to get asylum. And the economy can handle it right now. Mexico is doing as well as it ever has. It's got unemployment about 3.5%, and the economy is really doing very well. And this, there's a political race going on right now for July elections, July the 1st, and there's this very left-wing guy. He's a little bit like Lula in Brazil. Remember, everybody thought he was going to be a disaster because he was an ex-labor guy, and he presided over the biggest boom in Brazilian history. And this guy's pretty sharp. He's taking a leaf out of Trump's notebook, and he's saying, he wants to see 6% growth in Mexico for his entire term. That if that happens, they're predicting that Mexican economy will be bigger than France, within about 4 or 5 years. And, in other words, it'll be the 6th or 7th largest economy in the world. And the sooner that happens, the better, because the more equal wages are with Mexico and general conditions, the less migration there's going to be. And if they lift up everybody in Latin America, it's going to solve a lot of problems.
Couple questions here for you. Let's see. First one's from Randy. On March 26th, China will finally launch a yuan-dominated oil futures contract. Do you have any thoughts on that? Randy asks, and could it possibly hurt the petrodollar?
It probably not at the moment. When contracts launch, if they're successful, which I think this one will be, just because of the way the market is. Remember, it's more money chasing, fewer stuff, and it's kind of like the NASDAQ. Remember when they opened the NASDAQ building in '97 or whenever it was in Times Square? That kicked off the big boom, right? You know what? Then when they built the very fancy stock exchange in Mexico City, whenever they built it, it kicked off the biggest, a 7-fold up move in the market, 7 or 8-fold uptick. There were 5,000. The Mexican market was 5,000 in 2000, and right now it's about 50,000. So it's gone, and it was 50,000 by 2007. So it went up 10-fold in 10 years. So launching a new contract in a mega country like China is probably very, very bullish for energy.
All right, Randy, I hope that answered your question. And then from Mike B, this is back when you were talking about what he had said to you regarding gold. He says, my daily indicator went positive. If the 2-day confirms and it's close, it should go big.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Tell you what, this gold is so strong. I mean, we've had 2 back-to-back days now, practically separated, 20 plus upside. That's pretty unusual. And this is probably going to turn out to be one of the biggest up weeks in gold in some time as well. And up months as well, by the looks of it. So, it kind of looks honestly like we're going to have a $25 plus update today. If we can close over 1360 and get over 1675 on the silver, I think the market is going to gap up again on Sunday night and probably continue higher into Monday. And we could have a very, very strong kickoff next week in the metals as well. So And if we get over 1375, it almost puts 1390 in the sights. And also remember, this upper section above 1360 is a kind of a vacuum. You know, this is where gold had all the problems when it broke down from the 1400s into the lows of 2015. You know, this actually happened in 2013. So going up through that vacuum, we probably going to see some very explosive upside in the metals and the stocks. You know, I mean, the beauty of this move is, for those who think they've missed it, you know, I mean, the 22 nugget a few days ago was an absolute gift. And it reminds me of, you know, the bottom, the comparable low in the nugget of 2016 February was about, it actually got down to about 17, and then it sort of run up to 18. Next thing you know, it was 25, and before you knew it, it was 180. So, you know, this thing has got just meteoric upside ahead, and this, it's, you know, the market is starting, the stocks are running ahead of the market already today in a very big way. And
I guess Mike was talking about the nugget. He typed in the NUGT.
Yeah, the nugget is very, very bullish right now.
And then Frederick had a question for you. Other than Santa Fe, which we're familiar with, what do you think would be, he said, the best play for gold? I'm assuming he's opening the door to, you know, stocks, options, whatever.
Probably right now, the best bang for your buck is probably the JNUG. It's fairly cheap, and it could be very highly leveraged, and it'll probably outperform the nugget, because I think the last time around the JNUG was kind of maybe 10, and I think it went to about 200 or something. It was a pretty incredible run. So it's definitely. You know, you got to. This is one of those times. I mean, look, stocks like Santa Fe, you have to buy them and put them in the bottom drawer. You know, they're not trading stocks. You just got to. You got to take it. It's like this is more like an option on gold. It's like a long-term call option without an expiration date, and so that the real, obviously, the highest leverage you're likely to get is something. You know, some of the juniors like Santa Fe, because you know. If there is a mania, I mean, if we go to 2,000 plus gold, I mean, I can't even imagine where this stock will go to. Certainly, I expect it to be in the dollars, into dollar territory, easily, because the people are going to be all over them, you know, beating the door down to try and buy gold stocks. It's just the way the world works. I've seen stocks go from 10 cents, 5 cents to $1.50 in a matter of months. And in fact, it happened to Santa Fe. The stock went actually went from 1 cent. I bought the thing at about ½ cent some years ago, and it went from ½ cent to $2. So you know, that's like a 400 point up move, 400 times up move. And you know, people did that not so long ago. Second time around, I mean, some of these people are looking at. Absolutely, some of the crazy and better than Bitcoin, bigger gains than Bitcoin. We actually, if you go back and look at the structure, the upside structure on the stock, I think we actually outperformed Bitcoin in some of the run up. If the stock starts going to 30 or 40 cents, it's going to have some, you know, it's going to be up huge, absolutely massively over the last 2 years. So, and stocks that do that, and stocks that have run up before tend to do it again. It's like dry ships. I mean, you know, you and I, you know, dry ships went up from, we called it from 5 to 40 to 5 to the mid 40s in 05 or around 05 or 06, sometime around then. And who'd have thought that it was going to go from 3 to 102, you know, right on this show. You know, it's just unreal. So it's, you know, that's the best example of that stocks can go for a second run, and I think that's immediately ahead for a lot of gold stocks, actually.
Are there any other junior miners that you have in your sights?
Not really.
No?
Nothing that I particularly am not familiar with right now.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. Okie doke. Well,
John,
listen.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's first Grand Prix this season in Australia. It's going to be interesting.
What's that?
The Formula One Grand Prix in Australia, be on Saturday night, late early Saturday, middle of the night on Saturday. It'll be live.
What channel do you watch that on?
NBC Sports.
Gotcha.
NBCSN. Yeah, it's going to be. I can't wait. It's it's going to be an interesting year to see who comes out on top this year. So.
Okay. Is Trump getting ready to hold his news conference? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's why the market's tanking. You know, I mean, it's almost like Trump comes up with something every day to knock the market down lately. You know, it's
now, like, platinum's lagging gold by $400. Is that an all-time record?
You know what? That's a very I hadn't thought of that in the last couple of days. Yeah, it's. I actually think you should be considering buying platinum if it breaks above 960, because it might just go for, out of nowhere, it could just go for a very big run, and maybe this time when it gets over 1,000, it'll stay over 1,000. But the chart doesn't look too bad, as I pointed out recently, and actually platinum has led the gold up here in the last few days. So I would. The only thing that's a little bit negative on the platinum right now is the way palladium is going, and palladium had a tremendous, got to a new record as we predicted, and it's down quite it's down 20% off that high. So, and it looks a bit dodgy, frankly, So and the copper as well a little bit. So I think if you see palladium starting to rebound, heading back towards 1,000, and if you see copper back up, and then I think you're going to see platinum go as well.
Okay. Alrighty. I guess that's going to do it then. Well, thank you, John.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we might be back on a buy here. We're just starting to lift a bit, so we'll see.
Oh, Mike, hey, this is just in. Mike P. in the audience, the chat box, he said, now they're saying he will sign the spending bill.
Okay.
Question mark.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It says Trump expected to sign omnibus spending bill. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for pointing that out, Michael.
Thanks.
Okay, John. Take care.
All the best. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Last night. Okay. 1536 on the Russell here. That was the sell side. Let me show you guys the email, so you can grab a screenshot if you want. Yeah. Here we go. Now, last night in the Partners Workshop, so any partners that were not in the workshop last night, we did some side-by-side studies on the time frame that we use in the live training room every day, and we put up beside it on the same screen so that you could see them the larger time frame, 30 minutes that I look at. That's not really a large time frame, but for us, for those who trade intraday, it is. Okay. What I might do is I might go in and slice out that portion of the workshop and make it available for, whoever might want to watch it. It was very revealing. I mean, there's a whole lot that can go on inside of a 30-minute candle. All right, you got your screenshot. So, okay. All right. So on the Russell, 1544, we were looking just for the move up to 1550, which would be 6 points, $50 a point. We did get this little spike here, which came in on the news, I suppose. So just taking it up to what we were looking at, 6 points, $50 a point, $300. And then over here, on the sell side, 1536, again, just looking to get to the zone below, 3 points, and then 3 points, and then 3 points. So that line should... And I said earlier that I'm sure I would say in the course of today's show, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. And believe it or not, I was not born with that knowledge. I'll let that sink in for a minute. That's something that I discovered. It's not really something that wasn't taught to me in those words, but we see it at work here every single day. So it's just if it has not become something that you own, knowledge that you have personally, I can't encourage you enough. Do whatever kind of study you need to do, forward walk, hindsight, historic charts, whatever, however you want to do it, until something clicks and you go, oh, wow, I guess it is true. At that point, you own it, and you'll be able to do great things with just that knowledge. With that little bit of knowledge right there, you can do great things. This is actually one of the charts that we had up last night. This was yesterday's move in the NASDAQ. We had said to consider selling 68.78. And the initial drop was $1,200 per contract. Well, actually, you had this pullback here. And then this one here. What was this one? 66. Okay, and this one, the swing low is 21. Oh, this one. The swing low 67.15. Yeah, it's a little over $1,200. Okay. Now, one of all this was someone had asked in the partners workshop last night. Let me see if I still have, do I still have that other little chart? Hang on just a second. I just might. Okay, where are we? Yesterday was the 22nd, so we need to go find the 22nd. There it is. And what time of day did this happen? Shortly after midnight. Had a dickens of a time getting it where I wanted it last night. I should have learned something from that. Maybe I shouldn't run so much stuff at one time. Boy, you'd think I asked it to do something special. See, now we're past the 22nd. The very thing I didn't want to do. I ran all kinds of stuff yesterday. I did the CC, the cleaner thing. I did a bunch of stuff just to, and I took a look at RAM. I was gonna add some more RAM yesterday, and then I came across an article at Tom's Hardware. If you've never been to the website, Tom's Hardware, it's a really good site. I don't know Tom, but if you have a question about a computer or a monitor or a chip or a card or or how to program your VCR, if you go to tomshardware.com and you ask the question, somebody, I don't think it's Tom, could be, will answer your question pretty quick. In fact, what I find most of the time is somebody's already asked the question. Yeah. This is just creepy slow. You know, there's a hang up and there's a reason for it. And if I have to dedicate this weekend to rooting it out, I mean, don't mess with me. I'll go get a new computer. Oh, I should have said that within hearing range. Lord knows what she'll do. I just want to get to midnight on the 22nd. This is the same fit I had last night. I'm not cheap. I have the computers custom built. You know, first few years, no problem. And then an incredible sense of deja vu, because I've seen this movie before. Oh, let it go round and round. I'm not going to sit there and stare at it. What is that, a watched spinning wheel? Never stops. Good word for the day. We'll finish looking at the charts here in a minute when they decide to cooperate. He said. Now, here's an interesting thing to ponder. This new TV, or I'm sorry, computer monitor that you're looking at and I'm looking at, that hangs on the wall, it has wireless. It's a smart TV, as they call them. They used to call them connected TVs. Now they call them smart TVs. It has Wi-Fi. I put in it found my Wi-Fi right away, and just put in the credentials, and I mean, it just worked. It just worked, which I thought was kind of cool. Then I got to thinking, okay, I have a computer that is using a HDMI out on the computer, HDMI in on the big monitor. So it has internet access there, but then it also itself has internet access. You following me on this? So I began to question myself, okay, now am I hurting or helping myself because I've got the computer hardwired to the router, the TV's picking up the Wi-Fi from the router. My conclusion was that I should turn the Wi-Fi on the monitor off, because that was just like redundant and overkill, and it was just all very confusing. So, oh, this thing. Really? Alright, yeah, forget about it. Trust me, it was a nice story. I'll tell you Monday maybe. We've been talking about self-control all week. Episode number 6. Don't give the devil a chance. Ephesians 4:27. When he comes knocking at your door, and he will, even if he hasn't lately, he will. Don't invite him in for tea. That's where so many of us in our spiritual walk make a mistake. This beast has been around since the beginning of time. He has had a lot of opportunity to hone his craft, perfect his weapons of mass destruction. From alcohol to pornography to crack cocaine, man, you name it. He's cooked up some stuff. But we, or let me just say me, with my 2-watt brain, have more than once found myself in some kind of intellectual tete-a-tete with, quote-unquote, the enemy, trying to convince him logically why his argument, the father of lies, why his argument doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. Now, who am I? Even though I'm right and I stand on solid biblical ground, I got no business having a discussion with that beast. You follow what I'm saying? So, when he comes knocking at your door, don't invite him in for tea. You can ignore it. You can open the door and slam it, but no tea. Ephesians 4:27. Don't give the devil a chance. Now, this is, for some people, this is all going to sound so basic, so duh. Well, who doesn't know that? But, you know, everybody in the world is not you. And everybody doesn't think as well as you or as clearly as you. And for some of us, things aren't quite as obvious as they are, perhaps, for you. So I'm happy for you, whoever you are, and I'm thankful that you have such clear thinking. Okay? So let me just say this and start from the top. Avoid the things that tempt you. Stay away from situations that weaken your self-control. Now, how much more basic can it get? Remember, this whole thing's about self-control. Avoid the things that tempt you. Stay away from situations that weaken your self-control. You don't want to be stung. Stay away from bees. Plan in advance to avoid situations that you know are going to cause temptation in your life. There's an old saying, if you go to the barber shop enough times, eventually you're going to get a haircut. And when people say things to me like, yeah, I got my 6-month chip the other day, and I'm going to celebrate and go over and watch the Super Bowl with my boys. Are you boys in the program? Oh, no, not them guys. I see. So there'll be lots of alcohol and whatnot. Oh yeah, those guys drink like fish. And you've been sober 6 months? Yep. Is that really a good idea to put yourself in that situation? People you know, people you have bonds with, you've been friends with for a long time, that you've drank with, partied with, gone to Vegas with, I don't know. Is it a good idea to put yourself in that situation? Again, this is very elementary, for a lot of people, but for others, it's like, oh, Don't keep chocolate in the cupboard if you're trying to diet. Get rid of your access to pornography if you struggle with it. If you're a teenager, the time to begin thinking about self-control is not when you're in the back seat of a car with someone who turns you on. Question: what do you need to avoid or get rid of? Magazines, books, DVDs, a relationship maybe? The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 15:33, bad company corrupts good character. Avoid people and situations that tempt you. You may need to change your job because a relationship there is wrong and ultimately harmful to you. That's a drastic measure, but you may need to do something that drastic in order to avoid whatever is tempting you at this particular time. If you have lived through years of repeated failure, then it's time to get honest with yourself. It's also time to get humble. It's time to pray. God, I'm just not strong enough to resist this temptation by myself. Help. Good news is He will. I patiently waited, Lord, for you to hear my prayer. You listened and pulled me from a lonely pit full of mud and mire. You let me stand on a rock with my feet firm. Many will see this, and they will honor and trust you. Psalm 40, verses 1 through 3. You let me stand on a rock with my feet firm. Many will see this, and they will honor and trust you, the Lord God. Now, there is no greater evidence, in my opinion, of a supreme being, the divine architect. No greater evidence than a changed life. So wherever you're at, whatever's going, whatever the condition is in your life, if you want it to be different, you have someone standing by, ready, willing, and able to assist you, and that would be the Creator, the divine architect, the Lord God Almighty, the one who spoke all of this stuff into existence. Imagine if you had a let's just say this new version of Windows, what is it, 10, is giving you a problem. What if you could have Bill Gates come over to your house and help you straighten it out? What if your printer wouldn't print and both Hewlett and Packard offered to come to your house and help you? The very people who created the thing that's not working right for you. Now, most of us have to settle for, a call center in a third world country. But when it comes to what we're talking about here today, self-control, your life, the impact you have on this world, your need for self-control, the very one who created you stands by ready to help you. With a contrite spirit, with a humble heart, if you ask for help, you'll get it. You have not because you ask not. That's going to wrap it for our talk on self-control. I hope it's been of help to someone, and we'll pick up on a new topic come Monday. And that's our good word for the day. Okay, this thing finally quit spinning its top. Alright. Well, before I pull up, let's see, the NQ last night, the email said to consider buying 6680. And all we were looking for, 6680. All we were looking for is exactly what it did. Now, it did it in a kind of a violent way, but hey, I guess it didn't get violent until this candle. That's when the news came out this morning. From 6680, we had a target, the zone overhead. I mean, that's just logical. That's what they're there for. These you don't need. You're welcome to use them. At 6880 up to 6706, that would be 26 points. At $20 a point. Do the math. Trump speaking right now about the $1.3 trillion omnibus spending bill. Okay. Now on the NQ for the sell side, we were looking at 66.25. Now that would have come. What time these things go out? 8 o'clock. So we had this spike here. It took us down to 65.94. 65.94. That's about 30 points at $20 a point. So that's about $600. The NQ. Okay. Man living dangerously. Wow, he's going to try that again? Yeah, why not? Well, he thought he was. Oh, it's hard to think it's something to do with this chart, but that would be too easy. What could it possibly be about this chart? It's beyond me. Not even responding. Oh, back to the RAM story. You can't, or they don't recommend. It's like I don't know the Tom's Hardware thing. I think they don't recommend that you use that you mix the brands of RAM. So if you want to add additional RAM, if you can't find the brand that's in there, and I guess you got to open it up to find that, it could cause more problems than it fixes. Yeah, you know what, guys? There just isn't enough on this chart. All the time and energy I spent trying to show this, I went through the same thing last night. There is something, some little something somewhere that is causing me grave difficulties. So I'm not going to worry about it. Let it go. Let it go. All right, real quick. Well, I don't know if that even exists anymore. All right. Last night's email said to consider selling 26.25. Got a little spike there last night for 8 points, $50 a point. By 26.37, if you get the chance, 350. Back below the trigger. Off we go again. $1,000 per contract available. Back below the trigger. Off we go again. This time without as much conviction. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. In fact, you can see. No, I guess you can't. You can see the wheel go round and round. I give up. All right, guys, it's the weekend. I hope you have a great one. Now, according to CFRN bylaws, it's extremely important that you spend quality time with your family this weekend. Of course, I will see you in church on Sunday. Save me a seat. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with the licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.